before we go into the work, like I'm hearing that your nan seems to be very influential. What was she like?
Do you know what? She had some really, really good qualities, but then she had some really bad ones. I would like to think of her as like Nana Moon from EastEnders, right?
Okay.
Yeah. But without as many good qualities. No, like, I would always respect my nan for stepping in and bringing me up, because she didn't have to do that. She could have just been like, well, that's your son, you need to deal with that.
Mm-hmm.
But she didn't. She took me on. We were quite close all through my younger years. Moved back to around the Tring area. Still absolutely fine, even when I moved out and bought a flat and stuff, we were still very close. I'd always sort of nip round, take her shopping, do bits and bobs. She got ill probably, how long ago is it now? She died, I think, 3 years ago. So she got ill about 6 years ago, I want to say. She got leukemia.
Oh wow!
And she obviously had a problem with her platelets and stuff, and she had really bad white blood cell counts and stuff. So she had to keep going in and having blood transfusions and stuff. But we always joked that she would be outliving all of us, because she was literally just like, she was just getting smaller and smaller by the year, like in height. And we were like, she'll still be knocking on at 100, and we will all be on death's door. She'll still be going strong. Tightest person you'd ever meet. That's why she had so much money. So she like bought a house, sold a house, bought a house, sold a house, and every time the house she bought was always cheaper. So she'd always have this money building up in her bank. And we all joked and said like, no one will get it, because she'll just like this. She'll leave it in her bank and that'll go to her favourite sons. And that's exactly what happened. So we were all right on that front. But yeah, we had a bit of a fallout before she died, which was sad, really, considering that she had brought me up and all the rest of it. Whose fault was the fallout?
Looking back on it now,
I would say 50-50, but I'm quite stubborn. So, so basically, me and my wife, we're probably going to fast forward and reverse and stuff. So me and my wife, then girlfriend, obviously now wife, we decided that it'd be a good idea to buy a house with my nan. Buy a big house, which was kind of separated into two, so that we could live there and make it comfortable for her, so that she wasn't getting any younger. She was like in her 80s, early 80s. So we were like, why don't we buy a big house? We'll all live together. We'll have one side, you have the other side. We can eat together and stuff every now and then, and but we're always here. And if you want taken here, there, everywhere, you're not on your own. You're in a house, and although it's a big house, you haven't got to worry about it being a big house, because we're in half and you're in half. And then we were in that house for about 2 years, 2 and a bit years. And over that period, the relationship just deteriorated, because two different eras living in the same house is when you're staying with someone, it's easy because you go by their rules. It's their house. You're a guest in their house. When you own 50-50, it's like, well, hold on, I don't want that there, and but I don't want this here, and I don't, putting handles up everywhere and stuff like that, in communal areas, it kind of makes it feel like it's a bit of a...
Not your house.
Yeah, exactly. And this is where my relationship with my uncle sort of deteriorated a little bit, because my uncle had a key to the house, which was fine. It's my uncle, it's my nan, it's my missus living there, so, but probably at certain times I didn't put my wife's feelings where I should have done, and thought about it from her side. I think, well, these aren't her family, and my uncle just walking in isn't cool with her, but it's cool with me because it's my uncle. So of course we had a bit of like this, where I say to my uncle, look, can you knock? And my wife would say to him, you need, if you see cars on the drive, can you just knock on the door rather than just walking in? I could be just getting out of the shower, and you're just walking in, sort of thing. And so little things that shouldn't have been a problem then became a problem. And then
because you didn't want to take it, you didn't want to just say, all right then.
It's just I'm trying to keep the peace from my family and my wife. She's obviously not happy about certain things, and I'm having to try and play the happy medium. And it just deteriorated, and then it come to a big halt one day where my nan kicked off about something. I said, look, whatever that, we had a bit of an argument sort of thing. Then my uncle comes over, and then he starts shouting, the orders and stuff, and I'm like, hold on, you're in our house, it's not your house, get out. know, and then the relationship gets frosty, and then you know, me and my wife had our little boy, so he was like a couple of weeks old, and you know, we're in this frosty situation. It's like, right, okay, well, let's just sell the house, go our separate ways. We'll buy a house, you buy a house, and retain this relationship before it fractures where we're not talking. Don't want to be at the stage where we're not talking. So do the right thing. It's not working for whatever reason. Not your fault, not our fault, but let's just, you know. Yeah. And then since then, we sold the house, went our separate ways. I had a flat which I owned with one of my friends, so me and my wife moved into the flat. Right. But now we bought another house, and then we it just sort of went downhill really from there. You know, my uncle just wasn't happy about the way that I had sort of become a man, I suppose, and just been like, no, this isn't cool anymore. The way And
no longer little Lee no more.
That's it. Yeah. You can't boss me around. It's my house. I'm staying at your house. This is my house now. It's hard, I suppose, when you're growing up and you're living with somebody in their premises, and then all of a sudden you've bought 50-50, and the coin flips, doesn't it? And it's like, you know, I'm not a guest anymore. I own half of this house, so you need to respect me in this house as well. Just didn't work, and my uncle was just not cool with the situation. He was in my nan's ear all the time, and then my nan suddenly just became not cool with the situation. And me and my wife set our wedding date. I said to my nan, you know, I want you to come to the wedding and all the rest of it. Oh well, if your uncle's not coming, I'm not coming. And okay, cool, that's fine. If that's what you want, the offer's there, but I don't want this to cause an issue, and I don't want my wife's day to be ruined by arguments with him. So if you don't want to come, that's fine. She ended up not coming, and then her health went downhill after then, and obviously we weren't speaking, and that's it. So and then I saw her on her deathbed. I went to go and see her. She was unconscious, and then she died when I was with her, sort of thing. So it's bad because there's certain things that you want to say, and you can sit there and talk all you like, but you don't know whether they've heard what you said. People always say, oh, you know, they're moving their eyes, they can hear you. You don't know because you haven't heard a response. You know, I went in there and I just, said sorry for the things that I'd done. Felt upset that obviously she hadn't got to meet our daughter who had been born during the period that we had fallen out, and then she had passed away. You know, it was one of those. You know, sorry that I did what I did. You know, and I feel bad that you didn't meet our daughter and stuff. But this is it. So.
It's the most you can do, isn't it? Really, isn't it?
That's it, yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's it's tough.
So now you're out of college.
Yep.
Out of college.
Yeah. Working in a factory.
Working in a factory.
Yeah.
In Derbyshire.
Yep.
However many 100 miles away from home. Yeah. From where you raised and whatever.
That's it. Yeah. I had a girlfriend. We were 18. She had been born and bred in this town in Derbyshire. Right. Never been abroad. Family never been abroad. But in like a little bubble. It was like, imagine a big Centre Parks bubble over the whole town. Right. And they just never left that town. It was, I couldn't understand it. I'd lived in Tring most of my life. Obviously gone back and forth to Watford every other weekend. So Mum, been out to Spain for 6 months at 16 to go and work out there. So for me, travelling was like, this world's massive. This is, wanted to take her on holiday, didn't want to go. Wanted to take her back.
She didn't want to go.
No, because she was like, I've never been. Didn't even have a passport.
Okay.
So we're talking, probably like hillbilly stuff,
No, I got a mate that's the same way.
Yeah.
First holiday ever went on, I think he was 23, 24.
Yeah.
Never had a passport.
I can't understand it.
Yeah.
But again, other people might not understand wanting to leave, get on a plane.
Yeah.
So, wanted to take her back down to see where I grew up and stuff. And she's not really.
How old are you this time? 18, 19?
18, yeah, 18. Sort of went out with her for a couple of years. Got into a few that sort of toughened me up a bit, really, going to Derby. They were a proper like mining sort of background. All the dads and the granddads used to work down the pits. Used to dig holes with their hands, like proper big, like thick set, rough and tough kind of people. And there was me, this like little. But they used to call me Cockney up there, and it was like I live like half an hour away from Watford, which isn't even London. I was the closest thing to a Londoner that they had seen. So I was like this short, cocky, little, sarcastic Cockney lad. Living in a town in Derbyshire, and I just thought, it was good. Like I said, it toughened me up. So I had to work in a factory, and I was only 18, and working with all these blokes who, used to cut around and put a bit of gaffer tape around it to finish the shift, you know, like,
Yeah.
like fucking hell.
Yeah.
So, yeah, really toughened me up, got into a few scrapes up there, learned how to look after myself a little bit, and then just thought, do you know what, I want to move back down south, fuck it, it's crap up there, there's nothing going on.
Yeah.
But then, whenever you're away from somewhere, the other side always looks better. So moving away from Tring, every time you just go back down, it's like, oh, you know, have you really got to go back up, stay down for a few weeks. And then when you move back down, honeymoon period's over after 6 months, and you're back to reality again.
Yeah.
No, it's a good move. I come back down to Tring. And
with your girlfriend?
No, she stayed up there, we split up.
Okay.
Like, split up for other reasons, but it was just, it wasn't going to work. She, you know, she didn't want the same things. So, yeah, moved back down to Tring and got a job working for Chevron.
Okay.
Traffic management.
Traffic management.
Yeah.
Huh? The industry of champions.
That's it, mate, yeah. Didn't have any qualifications apart from the sound engineering course, which even if I wanted to get a job, I wouldn't know what I was doing because I never spent any time.
But you passed it though.
That's it.
But you passed the course.
Passed it, yeah. But I think the teacher just was like signing everyone off. Yeah, you did great. Yeah, thanks for coming, Pete.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
So yeah, moved back down to Tring. Phil was working in traffic management. I said, right, I need a job. He said, oh, jump on here. You don't need any ticket, any qualifications. It's fine. I'll put you through qualifications. Jumped on that. Didn't look back since.
So what you done? 19, 20?
20 when I moved back down.
Okay. At this point, are you still working at Chevron?
Chevron. No. So I've worked at about 15 different firms.
No way.
Yeah. But the thing is, when you're in traffic management, it's you'll speak to other people that work at other companies, and they'll go, "How much do you get a shift?" £80. Oh, we get £90 here. Oh, cool. Is there any jobs going? Yeah. So £10 pay rise. Somebody else, I get 100 here. Cool, I'm there. So like, you know, before you know it, in the space of 2 years, you've been at 3 different companies because you've got a £10 pay rise at each one. You know, you work nights there, you work days there. Brilliant. Okay, you work days there, and weekends, and you get £10 more. So that's kind of, you know, the way it goes really.
But you're building up your tickets.
Building up my tickets, putting in the groundwork. Chevron just got beasted on the back of a 18-ton lorry like we got out there.
Yeah.
Get on the back, pass me down this, do this, throw that off there, do this, shut up, stop talking. Listen, alright, 20-year-old kids, 1 day ticket, I'll do whatever you tell me to do.
Straight.
And then, it's tough game it was years ago, now it's a lot easier. I think we'll just sit on a gate and do nothing now. That's the way they're looking at you.
Yeah. So. Okay, so how did you get from... I'm trying to think whether I should go there first. Yeah, let me go there first. So how did you get from just doing that, building up your tickets, working for 15 different companies to, your own business? Or even where did that idea come from? Because...
Do you know what? I didn't even have it in my head at any point that I wanted to set up my own company. So I worked for various different companies, built up all my tickets, worked at the last company that I worked for before we set up this company. Right. Went into the office as like a planner. They said, look, you'd be good in the office planning, you know, you've got a lot of knowledge and quite good at sort of directing people and stuff and all the rest of it. I wasn't, I was just gobby, so that's...
Just confident, you just knew what you was talking about, I suppose.
Yeah. So, went into the office as a planner, moved up, I actually left and then went back, but we'll cut that out because it's kind of irrelevant. Moved up into a commercial manager, which was new to me. I wasn't really commercially aware, but my boss there was very, very commercially minded, and he was quite a good mentor to me, and he sort of taught me how to price things up and stuff. And he said, look, with your knowledge of what you need to do for the job, I can teach you how to price it up. You've got like a whole package there where you can price for a job, learn how to make money from that job, and you know what you need to do that job. Whereas some people just go in and they go, oh well, that's the price for that. They don't know how they deliver that job. They don't know how many people they need, what vans they need, what tickets they all need. He just knows that for that job it's that much money because he's been told. Whereas because I knew what was involved, I could work out whether it was worth doing the job or not if it made money based on their pricing.
Yeah.
So that was really good experience for me. And then sold a dream, as you usually are. Okay, Lee, with your knowledge, the directors here, they're going to be taking a back seat in the next 5 years.
Yeah.
If we can really do this well, we can run this company, they can take a back seat, we can, with your experience and my commercial, we can bring it together, we can really, make it work. Somebody else joined the company, sold them a load of lies.
Yeah.
Somebody who I won't name, but is in the industry and well known for just being a bit of a cowboy, came in, sold them a load of lies, and I was just basically pushed to the sides. This guy here, he's got this idea and that idea. And me and him clashed heads, managers meetings, we would argue and stuff, and I just thought, you know what, this isn't for me anymore. With my tickets, I thought, I had a lengthy conversation with my wife and said, right, I'm just going to go self-employed, work for an agency and just smash it. Just work in like 7 days a week. With my tickets, I could get like £200 a day. We'll be living the dream, and I'm earning £130 a day here as a commercial manager. I've got all that headache of, looking after people and doing this and always being the guy that makes sure that stuff's done. Other people would just go, oh, it's 5 o'clock, see you later. I'd always make sure that it was done before, so that puts more stress on you. Left there and just went, right, I'm just going to go on the road. Luckily, I knew somebody who was a trainer and assessor at this other company, and he said, oh, somebody like you would be perfect, we're looking for a new trainer assessor, do you want to come and work for us? Yeah, but I haven't got my tickets, that's fine, we'll put you through your tickets, put me from a trainer's ticket. And then I was going to be a trainer, that was the idea. Right. Set up my company, subcontracted to them as a trainer, and did the odd shift here or there, and that was it. That soon changed because they wanted a TSCO on a job, a traffic safety officer on a job. Right. I had that ticket and it was like £250 a shift, go on, go, lovely. So like £1,000 a week, 1,200 quid a week for doing nothing essentially. Perfect. So I did that for a year, and then that was all I was ever interested in being. Earning 50-60 grand a year, working hard, but like earning good money, thinking, right, I'm earning double what I was earning there, and I've just got to go to work and that's it, and no responsibility. And then I had a meeting with somebody about the company I was working for, supplying them with some work, and then they said, oh, why don't you do it? Why don't you get a van and do it? And I was like, it's too much ag, isn't it? And he was like, well, no, just get a van. You can borrow kit from us until you get to a place where you can put your own kit on it. We can guarantee 5 days a week, you and another person, get another person, 2 man in a van, there you go. So I was like, do you know what, I again had a conversation with my wife, we always discuss everything and say, right, this is a situation on the table. Said, right, what's the worst that could happen? We get a van, we work for them for 3 months, it fizzles out, we get rid of the van, and then I just go back on the road for the agency, let's go for it. Went for it, and then 2 man in a van, year later, 4 men in 2 vans. 2 years later, we're 6 of us, and just picked up the IPV today. So we've got 4, 5, 6 vans, an 18-ton IPV, and it's just kind of snowballed from the original plan, which was just going to be me training, and then I got on the TSCO job, and then walked into an office to have a conversation with somebody about something else. And then all of a sudden, it's just. So,
why? Like, was it the relationships that you built with over the years with that person that kind of suggested it? He must have suggested it because he knows that you can do it, obviously.
So basically, he worked for the company I used to work for. I was in the office, he was on the road. He left that and then went into the office at another company, and we've sort of crossed paths.